Hola, it's me, author Alexandria Infante, coming to you today with our little Monday chat. Okay, so just for those who are tuning in for the first time and you just happen to see something on here and you thought, hey, what's that? I want to check that out. This is the Indie Review channel. And so, what we do here is we review indie authors. We feature indie authors of color. So, if you fall in that category, whether you're Latino, Black, Asian, Hindi, whatever, we feature your books here as an indie author. So now, trying to get into the industry is very, very hard. And if you are a author of color, it's doubly hard for you. So what we like to do on this channel is we like to feature them. Now, that doesn't mean that we don't show our Caucasian authors love also, because the way our channel works is that you can submit to us, and Jen and I, Jenny Panoa, Erica Duquesne, and I will review your books and then put them on the channel. So now, we do have some criteria. We don't review nonfiction and Christian. So if you fall in any other genre, come on in. Now, as far as our like decor, I am moving back to New York. So, actually, on the 3rd of August, I pushed my tickets back to the 3rd because I needed more time. But anyway, so what we used to have here is actually packed away. So sorry if we're coming to you a little bit bare right now because we took everything down because of the fact that I'm moving. Um, the channel actually belongs to Jenny Panoa, but I'm the face because I like social media, and Jen is an introvert who does not. So, basically, what we do here is we talk about industry standards, we talk about people of color issues, and we talk about basically just trying to get your foot into that into the publishing market, whether you are indie or traditionally published. I myself am an author, and so I have been an author for 9 years. I was traditionally published, and then I decided after some issues with my actual publishing company to become an indie author. And so, I kind of feel like I'm not like 100% like in the know as far as knowing everything that works in the publishing world, but I knew a lot for 9 years. So, basically, what we do here is we like to feature them. Now, mainly we feature authors of color because of the fact that it's, like I said, doubly hard for an author of color to get the spotlight. And so we try to bring them to you so you can support them as well. With the climate that's going on, we try to stay non political. I mean, I have my issues because, don't get me started. But we try to bring you authors that don't get the spotlight and the recognition that they should get. So that's what this channel is all about. It is an indie review channel, and we only review indie books on this channel. That's it. We feel like mainstream, they get enough publicity, and so it's the indie author that's struggling and that's trying to find their reader niche, so we want to help do that. So now we do reviews 3 times a week. So basically, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday we do reviews, and then Monday, Friday, Saturday, and maybe Sunday if we feel like it, we do chat sessions where we talk about all the stuff that's going on in the book world today. So now today is a chat day. And what we will be chatting about today is YA. And what the hell is going on with YA? Because as a parent myself, my daughter, she just turned 18, and she's about to go off to college. I said I was going to bring her on the channel so you guys can see her, but we have to see what her shyness feels like. And so I'm just, it's like I don't know where to go as far as YA is today, because a lot of the covers look like they're actually for adults. And so it's like you have YA and then you have NYA. And NYA I can understand because NYA usually runs from 18 to 24. And now, okay, I can see a different cover on that. But some of these covers are like for 16 and 17-year olds. And I understand that we're living in a different time today, but even still, I'm just like, I have four housemates: Arlie Parker, Kenesha Knowles, Lexi Smart, and then SK Blue. And out of all of us, SK is the one who writes YA. Well, she writes NYA because she wanted her characters to be a little older than the normal YA. So the normal YA stops, as far as I remember and know, the normal YA stops at 17 and a half, I believe it is. And so SK decided to write her character 17 and a half and then have her turn 18 in the actual story. And so what I want to talk about today is not only YA as a whole and NYA as a whole, but how people of color fit into that genre as well. And why is it that people of color don't do as well as mainstream white America? And so basically, we're just going to chat today and we're going to bring it real. So hopefully you will stay tuned and you will watch this video. And remember, if you are new to this channel and you like what you're seeing, please click that subscribe button down there and then click that little bell over there, I think it is, over there, to basically give you a heads up every time we upload a new video. So now, contemporary versus paranormal as far as YA is concerned. I see, like, looking on the sites and looking for YA because we do review YA on this channel as well. So we try to keep that day just YA only, like nothing else is coming into that, because what we have to do on YouTube, we have to click the button down, like when you upload a video, we have to click the button that says for children. And what happens when you click that for children, it means that nothing else can go on that channel that day. Nothing else can, like, you can't comment, you can't do any of that stuff because they want to keep it safe for children. And I totally understand that. I'm a mom. You know, when my kids were like 14, 15 years old, I don't want them watching that stuff either. And if they were watching it, they were doing it behind my back. So I'm okay with that. I don't have a problem with that. So if you've ever watched a video and it was a YA and you wanted to comment on it, this is the reason why you can't, because the fact that YouTube will, suspend comments on that video because they want to keep it, kid oriented. And it's fine. It's cool. And now we also review erotica. So that's a good thing as well, to have that only clicking, without having the comments to there. And then we review paranormal, we review mystery, we review horror, we review suspense, we review everything but Christian and nonfiction. And the main reason is because we don't have anyone here who enjoys it. And so I'll just put it that way. We don't have anyone here who enjoys it, so we can't review it like objectively because of the fact that no one enjoys it. So now the reviewers on this channel are, like I said, Jenny Panoa, Erica Duque, Debbie Falks, she's joining our review, and then me, Alexandria Infante. And now I am an author as well. I write contemporary, historical. Well, I don't write contemporary anymore because it's a really competitive field. And then I write feel good, quirky, crazy, contemporary. So there's sort of like no real angst to it. It's just people meeting and, falling in love and having fun. And then I write paranormal. I write 6 paranormal romance series. So that's where I spend most of my time. I just dropped 7 new books. And so, as you can see, that's where my focus is. And so, basically, that is what we do on this channel. And so today, like I said, we're going to talk about YA and NYA and just the craziness that's going on, and then how people of color are affected by the, I don't even know how you, the stigma, the stimulus, whatever, as far as like YA is concerned. Contemporary versus paranormal. So, you as the reader, which do you enjoy more? Do you enjoy the contemporary YA, like The Hate You Give? That book was amazing. Or are you a paranormal fan and you would actually enjoy something like SK Blues, Chronicles of Takuri? And so, I'm just curious because I'm not a real big YA fan because I just kind of feel weird about that. Like, I loved Harry Potter and I loved Artemis Fowl. I thought it was really cute that they put out a movie, but the movie kind of fell flat to me. It's like, what y'all doing? This is not Artemis. It just felt really forced. So I mean, I watched it, but because I love Artemis Fowl. But because me and my 24-year-old, he's turning 24, him and I used to read those when he was a kid, and he really loved Artemis Fowl. And so it sort of like stuck with me, so I had to watch it when it came out. But it just wasn't really my cuppa. I mean, I liked the aspect of Artemis Fowl finally getting a movie, but I just kind of felt like it fell short. But anyway, and so I'm just curious, you as the readers, which genre you like more, and then I've been very like I don't even know what the word is to call it, like just kind of like a little bit weirded out at some of the covers that are being, published in YA, because I'm feeling like they're pretty like adult in their fashions, because I just feel like, a YA cover, I'm expecting like a kid, and like, example, okay, so you have regular adult writers who write paranormal, and so we're going to talk about paranormal YA covers right now. Most of the contemporary covers that I've seen are pretty nice. They deal toward kids themselves, and so teenagers, whatever. Like the like I said, like The Hate You Give. It's a girl on front of the cover, and so that's totally cool to me, and I'm totally okay with that. And so, but then there's just some covers that, okay, so this is a typical adult book. I'm gonna show it to you. Okay, so hopefully you guys can see this. So this is a typical adult romance book. Now, this is shared by the billionaires. Yeah. It pretty much says what it is right there. And so with a book like this, you would see some guys like this on the cover, and you'd be like, okay, automatically that this is an adult book. Okay, so, and I have no issue with that. I'm totally cool with that. I think whatever floats your boat as an artist, as a contemporary paranormal or whatever artist. I mean, me personally, I don't have any covers like that because I want, well, actually I do. That's a lie. The Bayou Blues series, because those are wolves, so, and with wolves and vampires comes lust. So I do, as I'm thinking about it, I have two covers like that, for my paranormal romance. So that's, like I said, that's normal, that's typical, that's the way paranormal romance and contemporary romance goes. But when you're dealing with teenagers, I'm just like, I don't understand. Okay, so like this book by author R.G. Winter is very cute. I think this cover is cute. I think it fits to the YA genre, and if I was a young girl, I would more than likely pick up this book because of the fact the cover is very intriguing, and it would draw me in. So this book is by author, it's called The Diary, and it's by author R.G. Winter. And now this is a very cute cute cover. It's a girl on the cover and she's reading a book or she's writing in her diary. So that to me is very, very cute. Okay, so this epitomizes YA. I would totally see this as a YA book. Another one. Just one second. This one is also cute. It completely screams YA. It's by P.C. Benson. It's a novelette and it's called Fortis. Fortis, which basically means fortune, I believe, in Italian or Latin. Okay, so there's a young girl on the cover. You can tell that she's magically inclined because you see the magic there. And she just looks like a teenager. You see that? This is an awesome, cover. And I would totally go toward this book as well. Now we're going into the atmosphere or the sphere that I am just not getting. I really, really don't understand this, and I'm thinking, what was wrong with her when she made this cover? Because I'm just not getting it. Even with the Twilight series, as popular as it was, Stephanie, she put out a hand with an apple, she put out an apple, she put out all that stuff. All of those images can was the word I'm looking for. The connotation for those is lust, all of that kind of stuff. But it's kept very simple. It's like, it's vampires, it's werewolves. So there's going to be, like, typically in, the genres, there's going to be some actual lust going on there. Now, as far as the shiny vampires, don't get me started on that. I give Steph all the props that anyone could give because she found her niche, she worked it, and she made millions of dollars off of it. She got her fan base, all of that stuff. But Sparkling Vampires, no, I'm sorry, I'm just not getting that. But anyway, so now, as you can see, those covers were cute. They fit children, because I don't care if you are 18. In my book, it's still a child. I mean, you may be like in the state of California, you're legally an adult. I think New York is 21 because my son was having an issue with that because when we were in New York the year before last, no, it was like a couple of years ago, like 4 or 5 years ago, yeah. Vacationing, he wanted to do all this stuff and I was like, no, and he was like, I was like, you can't. And then I was like, you're not an adult yet, technically. And then he was like, yes, I am, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, no, the state of New York says you are an adult when you are 21. And so, oh my God, that summer he was like, I'm going home. Because basically, he would still be ruled by me and he didn't want to deal with that. So anyway. And so basically, I feel like if you're 18, you still have the mindset of a kid, even though the law says that you are legally able to do whatever. You can't drink yet, but you're still able to do stuff that adults, you can sign for yourself, all that stuff. And so, but I still feel like personally that you still have the mind of a child. And so when I see a cover like this, I'm just floored because I'm not understanding how this author thought that this was okay for a YA. This book is by Morgana Patrick and it's called Consequences of Betrayal. And this is the cover. Now, this I would automatically see as an adult book, basically an adult erotica book. This is where I would go with that. I would think, okay, if I was going to pick this. Now, I picked this book, and then when I started reading it, I was shocked that the character was 18. It's like, yes, I can understand that you're saying that an 18-year-old is an adult, but this, if you're having this under YA, and my 16-year-old daughter picks this when she was 16, I would be very upset with you as an author because this is not connotations for a 16-year-old. And now, yes, this is a different time period. Kids do what they want, with social media, TikTok, YouTube, SoundCloud, what's the other one? Snapchat, all of that stuff. And they do some things that they should not be doing on there. And they don't seem to understand that stuff's going to follow you for the rest of your life because it's never coming off of social media, which is what 95% of them do not get is that once you post that to the internet, it is there forever. This goes for you adults too. And so you pretty much have to watch what you do and what you're posting on social media. So now this book cover here, I was completely shocked because I could not believe that this was by a author who titled and labeled this book on Amazon as YA. So I was very, very shocked. So now, just you as the readers, what do you think about covers like this? If you are a parent, if you are, and then just the books as a whole that are in YA today. I read this book here and I thought it was very good. Darn. Um, I read this book and I thought it was very, very good. It's called Young Queen and it's by the Royal Guardians prequel novella. And now we actually did a review on this, so you guys can check it out down there if you want. I thought this book was very good, and it's labeled as a YA as well. And as you can see, the cover is very, very cute. It is a young woman of color. So that really piqued my interest right there too. And I was going to give this book to my daughter. But then I read it and I was just like, okay, wait. Now the book starts when the main character is 10. And so she goes from 10 and what it's like for her to be a queen and all this stuff. And then it flips to when she's 21. And now when she turns 21, it pretty much becomes a reverse harem. And so now my son and I were talking about this and he was like, well, Mom, that's anime all over. But I was just kind of shocked myself that this book would go from 10 then to 21 and then it would turn into a reverse harem where there were actual sexual scenes with more than one man, and it's labeled as a YA. And so that kind of threw me right there. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is insane. So what do you guys as the readers think about the YA genre today? I mean, is it going too far? Is it do you know that this is actually what your kids are reading nowadays? You thinking, oh yeah, my kid's reading a YA book. And so you're completely comfortable with that because YA stands for young adult. And so you're thinking that this is what they're reading, but then you find out that they're actually reading something like that, where it's, menage a trois, threesomes, all that kind of stuff in a YA book that you thought was basically meant for children. Now, I can understand this for young in YA. Now, in YA means new young adult. And normally the NYA will go from 19 to 24. And so if a kid is doing something at 19, they're an adult. If they're doing all that stuff, sex, drugs, rock and roll, it's a little bit more understandable because the character is usually 19, about to turn 20, something like that. And so, that scope is fine. 21. 21 is even new young adult. And so basically, I think that's okay right there. And so basically, you guys tell me what you're thinking about this. Leave your comments down there, because remember, the more comments that you leave, the more that you are able to the more that you are in line for winning a prize. Oh yes, and we need to say congratulations to Loves to Read. I believe her screen name is, she won our Amazon gift card. And so basically what we do with that is bi-weekly we pick a person from the comments down there, and then we give out Amazon gift cards. So basically, the more you comment, the more you're entered to win a Amazon gift card. And then remember, if you are new to the channel and you just started watching us, like and subscribe. Click that little button down there, so every time we upload a video, you'll get it. And then hit the little bell up there too, because it lets you know every time Latina Rom Books post a video. And so now on to the second topic. So we talked about covers and how basically they're affecting YA. And now another thing that I want to talk about is people of color versus mainstream media for contemporary romance, paranormal romance in YA. And so, like, I did about freaking, the number one YA book right now is, it is a person of color's book. And I'm very happy about that. The only issue that I'm having with it is because it's dealing with race and ethnicity. And so now, actually, the first two on the Time bestseller list, they're not indie authors, they're regular authors. But they deal with race, systemic racism, and having to do with, the issues that are pretty much going on right now in the country. And so now I like the fact that they're both people of color. But my only issue is this going to stay? Right now we're living in a very tumultuous society because, there are some people out there who want to make it like a race war and all this kind of stuff. And so people want to be more in the know, and I like that. I think it's awesome because on this channel we feature and we support authors of color. That is our main focus here, is to bring you amazing authors of colors because you don't see them. They don't get enough recognition, and so this is our job here. That is our number one call to action, is to bring you people of color who are amazing and who are writing. Now, we do also show love to mainstream authors. And when I say mainstream, I use mainstream in the term that most mainstream successful authors are white. It's just the way that it works, like The Hate U Give. She is considered a mainstream author now because of the fact that it took her forever to, basically win that top spot on, and technically, and now actually she's not the top spot, she's the second spot on the Times bestseller list, but it took her years to get to that spot. And so whereas a Caucasian author can come out with a book this year and then basically shoot it to the Times best-selling list, and then she gets number one. Okay, whereas authors of color, it takes them, like 10, 15 years to get to that spot. And so basically, I believe personally that it's because we don't get the same support that, Caucasian authors get. And so out of that list, that entire Times best-selling list for NYA authors that I, went on to check it out to see how the Times best-selling list actually, computes and does their thing, only 3 authors were of color. Out of the top 10, only 3 were of color. And they just happened to be African American. And now there were no Asian ones, there were no Hindi, there were no, Pakistani, there were none of those. And so when we say people of color on this channel, we don't just mean African American and Latina. We mean all people of color. Asian, Hindi, Pakistani, Middle Eastern, all of those, those ethnicities that fit into people of color. And looking at that list, it was very discouraging because there were only 3 people of color on there, and they just happened to be African American. And so it pretty much just washed out every other person of color in this list. And so in doing this, I decided that I would just go focus on this to see how this actually works. And so I did 13 lists on Goodreads. And Goodreads is supposed to be I hate Goodreads. I cannot stand that site, but I went there anyway because I needed research. And so I'm not sure if you guys know this, but did you know that Amazon owns Goodreads? So if you are finding your books on Goodreads and you're not a Goodreads member and you hate Goodreads like me and you can't stand it and you're not understanding why your books keep coming on there, like my son did a search of my name yesterday just for the SEO to see what's coming up because we're trying to change that. And when he did it, the first 2, so you authors out there, you really need to check this out and go into your SEO and figure out what's going on with you, because the first 2 that popped up were Goodreads affiliate. Now, I'm not with Goodreads because like I said, I hate them. I've asked them time and time again to take my books off there. I've asked them not to publish anything by me. But then I recently found out that Amazon owns Goodreads. So if you are an Amazon author, then all of your books are going to go to Goodreads, regardless whether you want them to go there or not. They are going to be on Goodreads because you are an Amazon author, and so Amazon owns them. So they're going to throw you out there, basically, I feel like, to the dogs, to the woods, because Goodreads is a bunch of bullies. I'm sorry. Now, I hope I'm not offending any of you Goodreads members out there, but I just feel like, I won't say all of Goodreads, but there is a large amount of bullies on Goodreads who bully authors. And so I really don't care for them. And so out of all of their list, I went through 13 lists, just the top 10 list on there. And out of 13 lists, this is what I found. So now Supergirl, a YA book called Supergirl by author Lynn Blackmore. It was number 63 on one of the lists. And the main character is an Asian girl. And so basically, you went all the way through, like the first list that I went through, you went all the way through, and then on number 63, you had your first person of color, and basically it's called Supergirl, and it's by Lynn Blackmore. So you guys go out there and support this book. Go and read it. Even if you've never heard of her before, go get this book and read it anyway so you can support her. And if the book is bad, it's bad, but at least you're giving some support. And then number 73 was the next person of color, and he is African American. And the book is called Two Merchants and a Thief, and it looked really good. So I said I was going to go and get this book too, because people of color support people of color too, because you matter. You know, they're writing these books for you too. They're trying to get into mainstream to everyone, so everyone can read their books, but they're also for you too, because you are a person of color. And so the next book is by author R.A. Baker, and it was at number 73. So you figure from 63 to 73, there's 10 Caucasian authors in there. Everyone on this list, the first list that I went through, the vast majority of them were Caucasian authors for YA. And so then you skip from number 73, and then you get to number 75, and it's called Genetically Altered, and it's by Tracy Moulton. And here's the kicker for this. This book features an African American girl on the cover, and it's called Genetically Altered, and it's by Tracy Moulton. And the kicker is the author is actually white. And even a white author writing a person of color took number 75. She is in the number 75 spot. Okay, and then number 86 is called Kiss the Crystal Sun, and it's by Penelope King, and it's number 86. And out of that first list of 165 authors, as you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Only 4 of those authors were authors of color and wrote and featured a character that was a character of color. And so by the time I got to 13, I got depressed and I got very melancholy. And so I decided, I'm done. I'm not gonna read anymore. But it kind of just really hurt my heart that I did 13 lists, and there are tons of lists on Goodreads, but just the 13 top lists. These were featured as top list for YA, paranormal and contemporary. Out of all those lists, 13 lists altogether, there were 8 authors of color on these lists. And this is a problem, America. This really is, because it's basically saying that, you know, like Black Lives Matter, we don't matter. It's another field where authors of color don't matter because Caucasian people don't read our books. And so that's the one thing I could never understand. It's like, we people of color, we've been reading watching, you know, interacting, engaging in your things our entire lives. but yet we still don't get the same recognition. There are some amazing, prolific authors out there who are people of color. Gabriel Marquez Garcia, he wrote In the Time of Cholera. It's one of the best sellers, like, in history. But you only know that because you're forced to read it in school. It's not like you would go out and just pick up that book yourself, because we don't get the same marketing. We don't get the same like enthusiasm. J.K. Rowling puts out a book tomorrow and everybody's on it, right? But the author, I think her name is Jennifer Thomas, who wrote The Hate U Give, she's got to work like another year or two just to get someone to buy her book, and now she's hit the Times best-selling list. And so that's all I'm saying is, I'm not saying it to make anyone feel guilty, make anyone feel bad, because that's not what this channel is for. This channel is to uplift people of color. And so we are trying to get into these same fields that, it's like you're automatically placed in. And so if I could ask anything of you, it's to support, authors of color as well. Now, I'm not saying support crappy authors of color. I mean, if her book is terrible, it's terrible. Nobody said you have to support that. I'm not saying that. Because a bad book is a bad book, and it does not matter what the color of the skin is, the person who wrote it. It's a bad book. There was nothing that you could do about that. It's trash, it's trash. But what I am saying is, check out some of these lists. Check out some of these paranormal authors who are of color. Check out their books. Read a book by them. And if the book is good, give it its props. And if it's not, then just go on about your business, just like we do every day with Caucasian authors. And that's all I'm saying is no one's saying that, oh, you need to go and buy a person of color's book, because they're a person of color. No, I'm saying check them out. Take the time to check them out, because normally Caucasian people aren't even checking them out. They're not even looking toward that. So all I'm saying is give it a look through. Go check it out, because you may actually find something that you love. You might come to love that author. So, the whole point is, I'm not telling you to go and support crap. If it's crap, it's crap. It doesn't matter what color the person is. But what I am saying is give us the benefit of the doubt that you would give a normal Caucasian author. And now, on to the next one. So, that was pretty much it. Yeah. The whole thing was, what can you do, as an author? And what do you think about this genre as a whole? What do you think about YA? Do you think that YA has gone too far? Because, when in supporting authors of color, SK writes an amazing series. And I'm not just saying that because she's my housemate. No. I don't read YA unless it's... No, I don't even read it for the channel. Like I said, my son and I, when he was young, I read YA when my kids were young, but my oldest is 32 and my youngest is 18. So my baby days are over. And so I used to read that. Can you guys hear the ice cream truck? That's hysterically funny. So basically, when they were younger, I would read those books to them, and we would basically just salivate over them, corduroy, all of that. But I don't have a kid that age anymore, so I don't read YA. YA on the channel is read by Jen. So if you are a YA author and you want to submit your work, even though Jen moved back to Hawaii, it's still her channel, and she still gets the submissions, all of that stuff, which send in your submissions, because we're back up and running. We will be going the 7 days a week, like we started out with, until I had to do my own stuff and Jen had to do hers. So we are committed to the 7 days a week. Now, there won't be 7 days of reviews. So you guys know this. Monday is a chat day. Tuesday is a review. Wednesday is a review. Thursday is a review. And now, since we've cut the days down to 3 days a week, there is no, like set date for that. So like Tuesday isn't going to be RR. Wednesday isn't going to be IR. I mean romance Caucasian. Wednesday, Thursday isn't going to be mystery. Basically, what we will be doing from now on is we will pop up with a review. Period. So you won't actually know who, you'll know who we're reviewing, but you won't actually know what the genre is until you watch the video. So because of the fact that we've shortened the days, we can't do that. Monday is IR, Tuesday is whatever. We are just jumbling them all together, and we are reviewing good books, good indie books. So basically, and also remember, on this channel, if we review your book and it wasn't our cuppa, or we saw way too many technical errors with it, we saw things that didn't work in the book, we do not star your book, because we are not trying to basically, mess up your career. We are going to gently tell you what we thought about the book, and it won't get a star, because me personally, I'm not starring anyone's book a 1 star. I just think that is janky. I'd rather not leave a review than give someone a 1 star. That's just my personal preference. It's Jen's personal preference. Erica is a little bit different. Erica will give a star. Erica will tell what she feels, what she thinks, and she does not care. But me, it's probably because I'm an author, so I kind of feel more for authors, so I'm not going to star your book. I'm going to tell you what I think was wrong with it, what I think could be worked on, and what I think, basically how you can get that book to be a 4 star. So those are the only books that we don't star. Books that have like a lot of stuff wrong with them. So basically, make sure you're on your P's and Q's, Also, we only accept Mobi. We tried doing the ebooks, but the ebooks weren't working. And so, basically, one, I can't find my e-reader. I have no clue what I did with that Nook. I don't know if maybe I packed it or whatever, but so right now we're only accepting Mobi. So if you do not know how to do a Mobi and you are an author, then basically download the app Calibri. Now, we're not getting any kind of subscription or any perks or whatever from Calibri. I just like the system. And so basically, if you need to make ebooks, if you need to make Mobis, if you need to make e-readers, whatever, we don't do the e-readers, but a lot of other people do. So basically, PDFs, e-readers, zip files, all of that stuff. If you need to do that, then check out and download the program Calibri, because it does all of those in one. And so when I send out, like if I upload a freebie to BookFunnel, then that's what I do. If I don't download it from Amazon or pay for it from Amazon, then I make them in the Calibri, and then that way I'm able to upload them to that. Also, make sure if you are a reader out there, we will start listing free books in the comment section down there for you to go and support these authors. Make sure that you are checking the comment section, because we will leave freebies down there. And also check out BookFunnel, because BookFunnel, there are a lot of freaking authors on there who give away freebies, and they'll do like a month at a time. I actually did some BookFunnel freebies when I was publishing. I had the 6 books to drop, and so I wanted to gather more readers, so I offered the first 6 books in all of the series for free on BookFunnel. So make sure you guys are checking that out. And then lastly, we want to thank bensound.com. Bensound is basically the music that you hear every time you see one of our videos. It's the music in the background. Bensound offers his music for free and for pay. Now, it is free, royalty-free music. Try saying that 5 times. And basically what that means is you are able to use his music. You're able to download it. You can use it for commercials, book trailers, all of that stuff. All you have to do is give him his prompts. That I'm doing right now. You shout him out and tell people where you got the music from and send them over to his site. Now, you can also pay for his music as well. That's a little bit different. And so when you click on one of his songs, the little drop box will drop down and it'll tell you exactly what you need to do if you want to pay for his music. Now, the paying portion, I'm not exactly clear on, so you guys need to check that out yourself. But I believe if you pay for the music, then you don't have to give him credit because you bought it. Whereas me, I don't pay for it. I use it in the videos and then I just give him his shout out, which is what I'm doing right now. So make sure that you guys join us here tomorrow. Like I said, we are back up and running. Tomorrow we will start our first submission review. And also to the authors out there, we are doing interviews. A live interview. So if you are interested in doing a live interview with us, please make sure you email us at multiculturalromancelatina@gmail.com. And you can put either this time Jen or Allie, attention Jen or Allie, and one of us will get back to you and tell you what you need to do to submit a interview with us. And then basically we will post you live on, we will post your we'll probably make Sundays for interview days because we weren't exactly sure what we were going to do on Sundays anyway. Saturdays will be just fun stuff that we do around town where books are concerned, because everything on this channel is going to be book related because that's what we do, and indie book related. So it will be indie book related to where you will see what's going on in the indie industry and the indie world, what's popular, what's not. And so now tomorrow we will start with our first review, and I'm not telling you who it is, so you gotta watch and make sure that you're watching the channel. And if you are new to our channel, please click the subscribe button down there and then click that little bell up there to give you an alert every time we upload a video. And that's pretty much it. I will see you guys tomorrow with a new review. Love bunches. Make sure you click on to Latina Rom Books.